because an app is, after all, just a nice little front end for a mobile website. So I want to show you a little bit about how the mobile web can work. So what I'll do here is if I just open up Google. Now, clearly, what we've got here is great. We've got a version of Google that recognizes it's a mobile device, so it's optimized for mobile. So you notice a couple of things here. Firstly, it thinks it knows where my location is. It thinks I'm in Denmark. How did that happen? OK, well, let's assume I'm in Denmark for the moment. I think that's where I last was when I used this phone. What I've got here is restaurant, coffee, bars, and other things. So if I tap restaurant, because it knows where I am, Stockholm, there we go. It has worked out where I am. It's very smart. Because it knows where I am, it can give me just restaurants near where I am, and I can scroll through them. And I can see, as I scroll through, did you see there's a little image coming through? There we go. I'm in Denmark now. I'm very confused. I've been traveling a lot recently. I do apologize. My mum told me there would be days like this when things didn't quite work. So in Denmark, I can see restaurants in Denmark, which is very handy because I'm going there next week. But the point is that this is all happening in the browser. So that little photograph materializing and the map and everything else, this is all happening in the browser. It's not an app. I haven't downloaded anything. I can check this stuff immediately in the browser. So that's the first thing I want to show you, that people are using the browser and using the mobile web a lot. Second thing is, because of all this language technology, all of the crawling of the web for 13 years, trying to understand what language is all about, we've started to develop an ability to control things with voice that you may have seen before. So voice search can work really well for us, particularly when it's something that would take a lot of effort to type. Images of pygmy marmosets. Anybody know what a pygmy marmoset is? No? Hopefully, the internet does. There we go. How about that? So a pygmy marmoset turns out to be a really tiny little creature the size of your finger. But the point is that, firstly, that's a really long query, so it's quite hard to know how to spell it and type it and get it right on a mobile. But my voice gets recorded into a file. That file gets sent by the phone to the internet. A server receives that file, distributes it to thousands of other servers. They all work out what it is they think I'm saying, send it back, and the first server collates the results and says it's most likely, he said, images of pygmy marmosets. By the way, this is how to spell that. Now let's run a Google search and bring back the results and send it all to the phone. And that's all happened, almost instantaneously. So very powerful technology. It's not just the computing power of the phone, it's actually the computing power of the entire internet that powers this. And we're just at the beginning of understanding what that means. So that's quite a powerful thing. Obviously, it's fun to get images of pygmy marmosets. What else could we do? Pictures of the Golden Gate Bridge at sunset. But hopefully you can see that this kind of technology allows you to use the phone in much quicker and faster ways than otherwise would be easy using a small keyboard. There we go. It's got that right as well. So it's getting better. Thanks, Mum. What else can we do? Obviously, there are practical things we can do as well. So I was recently trying to buy my wife a handbag and wanted to understand quite how expensive it was. 3 million Swedish krona in pounds. Oh, OK, so I didn't quite get it. 3 million Swedish krona in pounds, it says. Didn't quite understand me, but it's given me the option. Let's see what that costs. Oh, my God. That's a lot of money. Maybe she's going to have to wait for another year for the handbag. But again, if you think about it, when you need a currency is when you're in a store, when you're nowhere near an ability to get that sort of currency translation done. And so that is extremely useful in lots of situations for lots of people because you've got the entire internet in your pocket, all of the information, all of the computing power of the internet. Now, I talked about translation, so I'm hoping that I can show you some translation that's going to work for me today. There's an app here called Translate that we built. And again, this is something that's in development. It's not perfect yet, but machine translation technology is getting a lot better, partly because the more people use it, the more feedback we get, the more we can improve it. How much is this handbag? So, here we go. It's gone to the internet. It's done the same process. It said, he says, how much is this handbag? But instead of getting a web result, it's then gone and matched it to hopefully this phrase, which says, Hur mycket är denna handväska. Is that good? Yeah, no. Wouldn't it be better if I could get the phone to speak with a Swedish accent? What if I were to press this little speaker button here? I wonder what would happen there. Do you get that? Can you hear that? How was that? Pretty good. So actually, we've started to get close to the Star Trek vision of being able to speak and get an instant translation. And there's a version of this now where you can have somebody speaking in Swedish to the phone, and the phone speaking in English, somebody speaking in English to the phone, and it's speaking back in Swedish. Now, actually, because you speak English so well, you don't need that for Sweden, but for many other countries, that's quite useful. You can go between Swedish and Afrikaans or Chinese or whatever. So this is bringing the world together in a very fundamental way, and quite exciting technology. Again, we're at the beginning of this, but this is getting better and better and better. Now, also the phone's got other features. The phone's got a camera, for example. So we've shown you can type things into the phone, we can tap things into the phone, we can speak things into the phone, but we can also take visual input. So let me show you a couple of things there. So one thing we've been experimenting with is trying to make traditional media interactive. This is quite exciting if you're in the traditional media business. So here's an advertisement for, this is a Buick LaCrosse. But in the corner here, we've got a little logo that says Google Goggles. Now, Google Goggles is an app that we've built, which is about turning your phone's camera, there we go, into an input to search. So I'm going to show you that now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a photograph of the ad with my phone. Okay. And what it's doing is now scanning that, and it's trying to recognize it. And it's recognized it, and it says, there we go, there's a Buick LaCrosse. Oops, I now pressed completely the wrong button. There we go. There we go. So I click that, and the advertiser's set up a landing page specifically for people who've seen that advertisement to get more details, to see videos and interactive features, and to book a test drive of the car. Okay, so suddenly, old-fashioned media, where we don't know what the volume of inquiries or leads or sales come from it is, we can now start to make a direct connection to consumers engaging and taking action. So that's quite exciting for everybody who's selling things, but also for the people who are in traditional media. We're making everything connected in a new and different way. So that's quite a cool application of goggles. Just experimental at the moment, but I think quite a few of the advertisers who are experimenting with this are finding it quite a powerful new thing to be doing. Another thing we've done is we've built that technology into more commercial applications, and there are retailers now who are using the technology, which is built into the phone, in their own apps. So there's an app here called Shopper that we've built, and Shopper uses the power of all these things in an app designed to help you go shopping. So here we go. There's a bunch of things here that I can shop for. Now, I've brought along a book that I found, and I know my dad would like to have this book, but as a guy, I often think that and then forget about it, and then the next thing I know, my mother's calling me to say, your father's birthday was yesterday. Did you remember? But now, when I see something like this, and I've got my phone on me, I can immediately do something about it, because I can just click the little photograph button here, brings up the camera. I can take a photograph of the book, if I can keep still. Okay. So it's recognized what the book is, and it's bringing me back a whole range of different places I can buy it online and in stores very, very quickly. So I can go from thought to bought in kind of 1 or 2 taps, which again closes the loop and gives me a highly powerful application that saves me time, makes it fast, hopefully makes me happy and my dad happy as well. So that's kind of useful too. Another application that I think the phone can be useful for is when you have tap and pay technology. So increasingly now phones have a chip within them that allow them to make wireless connections with things. So you have these on transport systems now, that kind of tap and pay situation. So this phone I've got has got a near-field communication chip that allows me to do that. It's also got an encrypted chip that allows me to have my payment details and my loyalty card details stored. So that I'm going to be in a situation now as a consumer where I can go into my desktop, research a pair of shoes that I'm interested in buying, and having done the signing in thing in both places, because I want the value of this, to be walking down the street and see on my phone, oh, those shoes you were looking for yesterday, Matt, you can buy them in this store here, and if you buy them before the end of the day, it'll be 10% off. That technology all exists. And actually, I'll be able to go into the store and tap and pay with my phone, including the offer that I collected and potentially also including the store's loyalty card. So suddenly,